Well, let's now go to our analyst, Casey Briggs, for the latest on the numbers. Casey, can you bring us up to date?
Yeah, well, Joe Biden, Mariam and Jeremy, gave a speech today in which he is acting a lot like a president-elect in all but name, and he's got good reason to be confident. The state of Pennsylvania in particular may be the one that delivers him the keys to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. What has happened overnight is Joe Biden took the lead in the early hours of this morning, now has more votes on the raw counting that's been happening than Donald Trump, a margin of getting up to about 30,000 votes. And what's been happening is every vote that comes in, well, every batch of vote that comes in is breaking dramatically in Joe Biden's favour. We're still getting lots of votes from the Philadelphia area and from the Pittsburgh area, and they're just breaking heavily in Joe Biden's favour. It's very hard to see how Donald Trump can come back from here. The US networks are not yet ready to call it, but it would be a dramatic turnaround to see this go any way other than Joe Biden at this point. I think we're likely to have seen most of the counting completed for the day. It's been a lot of long days of counting, and counting stuff I think have been knocked off, particularly in Pittsburgh, to go home and have some sleep. We know there are sort of at least 25,000 votes in Pittsburgh, more in the rest of the state. It just remains to be seen how much more the US networks, who are doing quite complicated modelling and analysis of this data, will need to see before they're ready to project a winner. But it is certainly Joe Biden's to lose. And even if he doesn't win Pennsylvania, well, he's also in the hunt in Georgia, which is a state that will likely go to a recount with margins only about 4,000. He's ahead in Nevada. We've got him counted in the numbers for Arizona because the Associated Press and Fox News have called that state for him. And he only needs one of those states to win, whereas Donald Trump, to win from here, he would basically need to sweep the board, and that is pretty hard to do when you're behind in 3 of the key states.
So, Casey, let's talk about what Donald Trump's path to victory potentially is here. How wide or narrow is that path right now? Yeah,
Jeremy, it's extremely narrow. So if he loses Pennsylvania, that's it. He's done. There is no way to the White House other than flipping some of the states that have already been called here. You know, he's called for a recount in Wisconsin, a state that Joe Biden appears to have won by about 20,000 votes. Recounts don't normally turn 20,000 vote deficits into leads, and so you'd think that his advantage there is pretty low, or he would have to flip a state like Arizona, which not all networks have called. The lead is tightening, but it doesn't look like he's winning enough votes in to flip that state. So Donald Trump's path, very, very, very narrow. A lot would have to go his way, and that's why there is an air of inevitability that Joe Biden is likely to be declared the next president-elect of the United States. It's more a matter of when, not if.
Casey, we've seen a lot of restraint when it comes to the network decision desks making calls on this election. Why has there been such caution at this agonising snail's pace when it comes to making those critical calls in the key states?
Yeah, one of the reasons I think is calling one state at this point is calling the election result. So if we have a look at Pennsylvania in particular, what I suspect one of the things that networks are worried about is this falling into an automatic recount territory. That could happen if this final margin is less than 0.5%. It is 0.43% at the moment. So, 7,000, 8,000 more votes. If Biden can get that far ahead, we might be out of that territory. But frankly, we've also seen, and we've seen multiple reports now that the President Donald Trump is not really looking like he's likely to concede, even if and when it becomes clear that he's lost. And so you could imagine the networks might want to be absolutely, beyond any shadow of a doubt, sure that margin can't be overcome, and that might mean waiting until it is quite literally mathematically inevitable for Joe Biden to be elected, to a point where there are just fewer votes that exist to be counted than that gap becomes. That could be one reason. I am speculating the ABC is not running a decision desk. We're not doing all of that data analysis. We are relying on the analysis of the US networks. Just a couple of theories about why a race that really does seem like Joe Biden is the firm, absolute, overwhelming favourite has not yet been called.
Casey Briggs, thank you.